Good morning, everyone. I see a lot of people rolling in on this Thursday morning. The sun's shining here in Oregon, which is rare this time of year, so that's nice. Um, so I think we'll get started as people are joining us. I'm just here for a short time today, and then we're going to dive into our presentations for the day, which is focused on seed-based restoration. First, I would like to thank our sponsors again, Bureau of Land Management, the U.S. Forest Service, the Native Seed Group, and the National Wildlife Federation. And I also wanted to provide a quick reminder again that we are already starting to plan the next in-person National Native Seed Conference, which will be February 24th through 27th in 2025, so about a year from now. And this will be in Tucson. And we will be accepting abstracts sometime this spring. We're still working out a lot of our details for the planning, which will start after this. So uh, keep an eye out for some of that information coming later this spring. And quick overview of our agenda today. We're starting the day with a National Native Seed Strategy update from Peggy Olwell and going into a applied plant conservation course overview from the Center for Plant Conservation for those that might be interested in learning more about that. And then we'll dive into our first seed-based restoration lightning round, which is a new type of session that we're trying this year as well in the virtual platform. We'll have a break and then some longer restoration presentations, followed by our lightning round number 2, not number 1 again, second lightning round. And then Jennifer, Jewel, and I will come back and kind of talk about what's next, what we're seeing as themes in this conference, and where we think we're going after this. And then we are also trying the speed networking function in Whova, which we hope will go well. So stick around to help us try it out. If you stay for at least 20 minutes, you will be entered into a raffle to win a prize. And then also please help us with some feedback on that as well. And additionally, during break time, since we have a couple longer breaks today, again, you can view all of the photos that people have uploaded. There's some really beautiful ones in there. And like your favorites, and the most liked photo will also win a prize. And then you can also create captions for each photo and enter to win a prize for that as well. I saw that the community boards were super active yesterday, and that's great. So please continue engaging with each other through those boards. You can also ask questions of the speakers in their Whova agenda session or view the questions that went unanswered yesterday to see if some of them have been answered. And then we also have our survey, which is available now under the resources tab on your Whova homepage. And we would really love to get feedback from you all on this conference and thoughts for the upcoming Tucson conference. Quick housekeeping reminders, just to use the Zoom chat for comments related to the speakers or discussion with each other. And then we're using the Zoom Q&A for all questions to the speaker. And I think that worked really well yesterday. So we'll continue that today. And then if you're using the mobile app, turn your phone horizontally for full screen. And please don't use the chat or Q&A in the Whova mobile app. We'll just be keeping an eye on all of that in Zoom. And I think we'll bring on Tom to introduce Peggy.
Thanks, Alexis. Good morning, everybody. I'm really glad to see so many of you here again this morning. We are at 455 participants already at this point in the day. That's great. It is my honor to introduce to you Peggy Olwell. She is the program lead for the Bureau of Land Management's Native Plant and Restoration Program. Peggy has been at the forefront of the national charge to develop native plants for use on public lands for reclamation after devastating fires and habitat restoration for endangered species and plant communities. for over 2 decades. She has designed and taught courses on rare plant recovery and native plant restoration, coordinated the Seeds of Success program from its initiation in the United States, at first in collaboration with the Royal Botanic Gardens Kew. And she also leads or has led the Plant Conservation Alliance for many years. So without further ado, on behalf of the Institute for Applied Ecology and the National Native Seed Conference, I am happy to introduce to you the United States' best friend to seeds and native plants, Peggy Olwell. Take it away, Peggy.
Oh, God. You're too kind, Tom. Let me just say, I think the gray hair says more than 2 decades, but that's okay. If you think I'm only 50, I'm okay with that.
You don't look a day, or we'll call it like, 50-12 or something, whatever you want to do with that. Yeah.
Well, okay, let me share my screen here if I can. I think I want to share screen. Bear with me, screen 2. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Not yet.
Oh, hold on. I got to get the next generation down here to help me. Thank you, Christy. And you'll see, you might get chats from Christy throughout the entire talk. So, all right, I think we're ready to go. This is this is how you tell how old I am. Anyhow, I want to start by just thanking the Institute for Applied Ecology and for all of the work that you've put into this. Now I'm having issues again, so hold on. Okay. For all the hard work you put into this great conference today, and I can't wait for the next one next year in Tucson. I want to thank the Secretary of Interior for her support and commitment to implementing the seed strategy through the Keystone initiatives that she went into yesterday. I want to thank my director, Tracy Stone Manning at the Bureau of Land Management, for her commitment and support of our program, the Plant Conservation Restoration Program. I've worked in 3 agencies within the Department of Interior, Fish and Wildlife Service, Park Service, and BLM, and I've never heard or seen the level of commitment that we heard yesterday from the Department of Interior, which covers, just for those of you that don't know it, in terms of public lands, we have over 400 million acres within the Department of Interior. So this commitment, this support, and the need for native seed is huge, and I really appreciate all of what they said. And what they're doing. I think that's maybe the most important thing. I also want to thank Jennifer Jewell, because I think she gave a very inspiring call to arms. And I loved her phrase, we have mediocrity down pat. So let's all of us put on our superior pants and get going and do all the work that we've been doing harder and better than we've been doing it. And then I want to thank all the presenters and all of you that are in attendance, because there's so much to learn from all of us. And we are part of this really amazing group of people that are committed to developing the native seed. So thank you. I want to acknowledge that I am giving this presentation from the unceded, ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of the Paiute, Shoshone, Bannock people here in Boise, Idaho. I'm going to start tearing up over that. Sorry. And to thank them for their continued stewardship and traditional ecological knowledge of these lands. And what I want to just say is that that is a community of people that resonates with me, and it's why we've supported as much as we could tribal native plant programs. So sorry, I didn't know I was going to get that emotional about it, but there it is. Let's start with the UN Decade on Ecosystem Restoration, the Bond Challenge. And Christy Snyder is going to be sending out links to things during my talk. And so you can get links to where some of this information is coming from. The global need is 1.9 billion tons of native seed to meet that UN Decade of Ecosystem Restoration and Bond Challenge, and I think it was 350 million hectares that were, that was the challenge. When we saw that, I was like, God, what does BLM need? And so we did an analysis of what BLM needs and came up with 500,000 tons of seed. And really, how we did that was to talk to, all right, how many acres of land on BLM land is degraded by invasive species, abandoned mines, abandoned wells, unplugged wells, and we came up with the need of 500,000 tons. Well, let's look at that by the numbers, okay? I'm showing you in the small wedges in there, the 54 million pounds of seed that BLM has purchased in the last 25 years through our consolidated seed buys. And that's probably not all that we've bought, but that's all we've bought through the big consolidated. So for big fire projects and things like that, there is other seed being purchased, but I don't have those numbers. But that 54 million pounds is only 5.4% of what it is that we may need if we choose to restore all of those lands. So I just want to put it into context. This is 25 years of seed purchasing in the Bureau of Land Management, and this is what we estimate if we choose to restore, would need. So I think this is the perfect storm in a really positive manner of speaking. We have three foundational pieces of documents here that I want to show you, and I know everybody's probably already seen them 101 times. But what I want to say about that is that we developed these things without really having funding. And probably, in my estimate, the most important thing we did was to develop a business plan, because we, as a community of botanists, ecologists, restoration ecologists, we know what things cost, but I think by and large, all of us do it for a really cheap amount of money. And people don't pay attention to the pennies, at least not in the United States. And I know this is a very US-centric talk that I'm giving, but I think it's something that folks across the world can use, and we are happy to help anybody get there, okay? So I'm sorry, or I apologize for my provincialness on it, but I think that it's important for us to share the kind of successes that we are having. So we have the National Seed Strategy, we have the business plan that we developed with it. And like I said, this is a community of effort. We did not get the business plan put together just by ourselves. What does the government think that it's going to cost? We hired a contractor, Steve Bozak. He did a lot of research with universities, botanic gardens, government agencies, both state and federal, to figure out what's sort of the average cost on a lot of this stuff. Okay. And then we did ask the National Academy of Sciences to do a study group for us, and they put together the board of experts from botanical experts, seed experts, agricultural experts, and it took probably 3 to 5 years, but in 2023 we got this assessment of native seed needs with recommendations. And then we got an administration with priorities and funding that aligns with native seed, which has led us to scaling up the implementation of the National Seed Strategy. But we can't rest on those laurels. But I do want to show you I want to go through some of what we needed to do and move forward on. So I'm going to go fast through some of this, but I want to show you the timeline. This did not just happen overnight. It took a lot of people in a lot of agencies and organizations working together to bring native plants to the forefront. So you can see today we're celebrating this year, I guess I should say, we're celebrating the 30th anniversary of the Plant Conservation Alliance. And when we started that back in 1994, we knew that we didn't have enough money to do the work on 60% of the Endangered Species Act, which was species, which were plants. So it's helping us in many different ways. So let's fast forward from 1994 to go to 2000. Congress directs BLM and the Forest Service to develop seed programs because we had a huge fire in 1999. That fire ended up, we were using 70% or ordering 70% non-native seed at that point in time. Let's fast forward to 2015 when I had a director that came up to me and said, Peggy, why are people asking me, or why are people telling me that native seed don't work? And I said, well, it's not the right seed. They might be native to the US, but it's not native to the place where they're trying to put it. So he was committed, that was Neil Cornsey, as director of BLM, to getting us together with all the other agencies and developing the seed strategy and the seed business plan. Then fast forward 7 years later, bipartisan infrastructure law, Inflation Reduction Act, and we are getting funds to really, truly implement the national seed strategy. In addition to that, the Plant Conservation and Restoration Program here at BLM just got last year a $10 million increase in funds. So somebody is paying attention and somebody's seeing that we're doing good things and somebody is recognizing that we are at a point right now, and I hope we're not too late, that we need to be really pulling the native seed and developing the commercial product. So then, I did not mean to do that because I do want to, hold on. That's when I get fast fingers. Then came the National Academies of Sciences report. We now, in 2023, have draft legislative text that I've seen on the National Interagency Seed and Restoration Center Establishment Act. And if any of you saw Secretary Holland's talk yesterday, that is the very center that she's talking about. Now there's draft legislative text out there. Hopefully it gets passed. We don't know that in the United States until the deed gets done. So, but there is concern in Congress that we have that kind of a center. We need it. And then the seed department gets the seed strategy Keystone Initiative established. There's a memorandum of understanding that is signed by BLM, Fish and Wildlife Service, and Park Service that is on seeds. We're going to coordinate on Seeds of Success. And then in March and December, or through December, the Keystone Initiative team, under the auspices of the department, develops the action plan to create an interagency framework that is supported by all the DOI bureaus. And in December, the department action plan under this Keystone Initiative team is completed. Okay, that's a lot of, I'm not even going to go into this. I just want you to see that there's a lot of stuff that's been done, that's being done. I think for you folks, the arid and semi-arid lands restoration course, we have a virtual one that's available now through the Department of Interior. And I will get you a link on that. And then we have a field course that's in development with Society for Ecological Restoration. I know I only have, okay. I had one of my bosses asking me, well, Peggy, what have we gotten for, can you put it on your process of native plant materials development in terms of funding? And I was like, oh God, let's see. So I literally spent the Martin Luther King Memorial Week, or Martin Luther King weekend, trying to pull all of the information together. And there's a lot of acronyms on here. And so what I don't want you to look at are all the acronyms. What I want you to look at is that in all of this, we have focused on seed collection, seed production. I didn't put anything down here that is national seed strategy. This is all from our consolidated seed buys that we do. So I want you to see that in total, when I put this together, it came up to $81 million over 2 years, which shocked me. I did not even, I knew I was busy, but I didn't know why I was busy exactly. And this, when I put it all together, I was just amazed. So we're talking about bipartisan infrastructure law for ecological restoration. We're talking about bipartisan infrastructure law funding for burned area rehab. We're talking about Inflation Reduction Act funding. And then we're talking about my plant conservation and restoration MLR dollars. So $81.2 million that is coming in to implement the seed strategy. Here's what it looks like if you took it from all of the, and this is within the Department of Interior. The Secretary talked about $200 million coming in for under the bipartisan infrastructure law. Basically, that came in as to the department as $70 million. So this is sort of the breakdown of what I have from the land managing agencies, BLM, Fish and Wildlife Service, and Park Service. And I know there's other agencies that got some of it, but really what we are looking at here is a total of over almost $30 million. And then, like I said, we focused on SOS, or seed collection. So in 2023, we had 51 teams. We were able to add collection in 4 new states. We got collections from 6 new OMRNC 3 ecoregions, and we pulled in 64 new taxa. And I know all of you understand that we need collections from more than one population to make good seed for us to use for restoration. So I was happy to see the 64 new taxa, but we're still collecting from the old, listen to me, from the other species that we already have in the collection. We've totally made over 28,000 seed collections, we're almost up to 6,000 taxa. We've trained more than 2,500 people. We've got over 150 collecting teams throughout the 20 some odd years that we've been doing this. And we've made collections in 49 of the states here in the United States. I'm going to quickly go through this. What I want you to see is that we are working not only on collection and production, but also on this concept of eco-regional programs. And these are all things that the National Academy of Sciences has told us that we need to do. So out of these various different funding sources, we've put over 10 million in the last 2 years into the eco-regional programs that BLM runs, but those are coordinated with the other federal and non-federal and agencies and organizations and TROPs. So that makes me very happy. The bipartisan infrastructure bill for the burned area rehab has put in 30 million just very recently. We got 30 million in the native plant materials development funding portion of that portion of the bipartisan infrastructure bill. And we'll be seeing another 30 million or so sometime coming to us in May of 2024. Like I said, IRA spending, we also got 17.9 million. That's the 18 million that the Secretary announced yesterday, and I think that there is a Department of Interior press release on it yesterday. Here's what we're hoping to do with this. And this has not gone out yet. That's the other thing. We are working to strategize, leverage all of these dollars into a really consistent and strategic way of spending so that we're setting ourselves up so that the Department of Interior and in working with the other agencies and departments can really just move this forward in a very big way. And there were 3 other eco-regional programs there. I just wanted to show these are the Keystone Initiative actions that were developed through the department's Keystone Initiative. And as you can see, it's to create and support this National Interagency Seed and Restoration Center. It's to create or augment plant programs in the various DOI bureaus, develop eco-regional plant material hubs, develop native seed and plant material use policy and guidance, enhance coordination, inventory and improve existing seed storage and distribution facilities, incorporating in all of those things indigenous knowledge into restoration practices and the best science. And then this is what I want to show you, which might look familiar to any of you that were at the meeting last year. This is the conceptual model that I think Patricia DeAngelis and I showed at the end of our talk last year. And I basically said, this is for you guys. This is something that we're looking at. It's our vision. And I am so proud to say today that we are sitting here with the conceptual model of what the secretary and the department and the other agencies have said, yes, we need this. And so all of you that are not in Department of Interior, rest assured we will be working with Department of Defense, Department of Ag, Department of Transportation, because those are the large federal agencies that can help us make this a reality. Also, I don't know if you saw, but we've got 3 eco-regional hubs right now. We're hoping that we get 3 more through our IRA spending. And then we really do need to make sure that this also is going across the entire country, not just the Western United States. And we'll help you in the rest of the world if we can. Just so folks know, we are trying to develop a progress report right now for the work that was done in 2022 and 2023. Laura Shriver at USGS is going to be pulling all of our federal actions together. So that is, and I want our federal agency employees to be, we can't go out and send the survey out to any of our non-federal partners, but our federal agencies can be talking and highlighting the work that you guys have done. And with that, I will say our work is set up, that we're not finished. We are not finished at all. We just need to continue the success that we've had in getting an administration that has the same, what do I want to say, the same priorities with funding as we all in this group have with Native Seed. And I'm just going to end it on telling you a story that shocked. I was sitting in my living room with NPR on the radio. That's our national public radio. And I remember back in 2022, it was a Sunday morning, and they were talking about this bipartisan infrastructure law, and they're going on talking about the whole thing. And then they say, and this will be, we will be spending money on, and they listed everything that they were going to be spending money on, capacity, infrastructure. And at the end of it, the person that was doing the interview says, and seeds. And I almost fell off the couch because I was like, whoa, did that guy just say seeds? So guys, I know this is a dream we've all had. We need to keep the dream, because it's going to happen with you across the world. People are recognizing that we need to have the right seed in the right place at the right time. With that, I will take any questions.
We are actually out of time for questions for today, but all the questions, you have a few, actually quite a few, and we'll copy and paste them into your session in Whova if you want to take a look at them sometime today or tomorrow or whenever you have time. But thank you so much, Peggy. I agree. It feels very exciting to be in the native seed world at this time. It's on such the national stage, and it's really exciting.
It is.
Thank you,
Let's
Peggy.
keep it there.
I really wanted to say thank you for bringing this presentation to the conference and giving us all this update on all the stuff that's going on at the federal level. It's really great to see the momentum. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Take care, guys.